At the same time that we have these record numbers of refugees, anti-immigration parties and politicians are also gaining ground in both Europe and the US. Why is that?
I want to say two things. First, it is true that these movements are complicated because we spoke about refugees, about people fleeing conflict, human rights violations, etc. But it is also true that human mobility, as we call it, is growing because of other factors, demographics, economic factors. There is a refugee movement and a migration movement. The two are often mixed in a complicated way. So the number of people are even bigger than this 123 million that I have spoken about. They're in the tens of millions more. And it is important to maintain distinction, but it is complicated. Many people do not move because they are forced to move by war, but because they look for better opportunities. I think it's a legitimate reason, but it needs to be regulated differently. And the lack of this proper regulation in this complicated system has generated often discomfort, disorder, fear. And what has happened in that context is that some politicians in particular have exploited that. Some politicians have understood, especially in the last 10, 15 years, that to say everybody's coming here to threaten your security, your jobs, your values, and I have the solution for that, which is to keep everybody out, that gets votes. The problem is that even people who have been voted in on the basis of these promises then have to go back to the drawing board and try to find practical solutions, which are not always very easy to find. So those are false promises, and they create a climate of fear that is not only wrong, in my opinion, but also not conducive to finding solutions. And we all agree that we must find solutions for this complicated